loser.
I've got stage fright. I take it back.
I knew it. I knew you would have stage fright as soon as I needed you to be ready.
I'm scared. They look at me funny.
You are funny.
I don't know how I know that, but I know.
You are funny. Of course they look at you funny. All right. We're on. Hey! Hi, everybody. Sorry if I just scared you. If I spooked you, my bad. Whoops. I'm Jeff, normally your Torchlight master, but in these nights, I am not so much Torchlight master. I am the man who holds the torch alight for the building of worlds, the crafting of lands, and so on and so forth. Like I say, I'm Jeff. If you're joining us here for the very first time, welcome. If it's not the very first time, welcome back. If you're wondering what the fuck we do here, well, on this show, what we do is we had an idea for a world. Well, I didn't have it. Henry had it. I'll get to him.
Unfortunately.
And then we have been playing these like tabletop games to build the world. I'd say we're getting close to wrapping it up at this stage. And from there on, we'll do something else. And eventually on this channel at some point, Henry's going to run this world. So that'll be fun to see. Huh? Anybody want to see mediocre Mart come to life? It'll be interesting. Of course, he'll need some time, some downtime to polish the turd that we give him. And by we, I mean I, by the end of this process.
Oh, no. It's a we. I've made most of the turd part of this.
And he'll take some time and he'll polish it. And then whenever he's happy with what he's got, he'll get ready to run a game in it. But with all that being said, let's introduce the man whose idea this is, and who's eventually going
the man of mediocrity himself.
The man of mediocrity himself, the one who's eventually going to decide everything about this world. Henry.
And I'm going to do it by the seat of my pants. Let me tell you what. Everything we build here, I'm going to try my best, but who knows? I may just have to move some things around. That comes with the polishing, though. As Jeff said, my name is Henry, a.k.a. Mediocre Mets nowadays. Now that I am actively streaming again, I can actually say that. But, yeah, so my concept for this world...
Right on, brother.
My concept for this world was to build a world that is entirely based off of a department store. There is no outside of the department store because the department store is everything. There is outside in the department store, but there isn't an outside. Let's bottle your mind up with that. Yeah. Like if you were to just keep going up, reach the top of the highest point you could find in the store, there would still be ceiling above you. But you could have a mountain in the store. You can have trees in the store, but there will still be a ceiling with fluorescent lights.
You remember that feeling when you were young and you were like, this store will never end, and it was terrifying? He decided he wanted to take that feeling and he wanted to just like codify
it real
into something that you will not escape. Honestly, maybe he should look into running a Call of the Cthulhu game in this because it would be crazy.
I don't even know anything about Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, man. It's a wild system, but it's been around pretty much as long as Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. Call of Cthulhu. Call of Cthulhu is a game and system that plays with horror, like a Lovecraft book, and sanity as major elements of it. And the more horror you experience, the less sanity you have.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like one of the bigger play elements of it. There's other stuff to it, but it's one of the things that's in there.
That's pretty neat.
And you could have even listened to it because you like, what are they? That's
podcasts.
Yeah, but it's the one podcast that you listened to a lot. Dungeons and Daddies. They did a Call of Cthulhu one. They did a short little Call of Cthulhu there.
Okay.
So, you can try that out for size if you wanted.
Can we start a campaign and call it Dungeons and Baddies?
Sure. What?
Let's do it.
Okay.
That way everyone, when they search Dungeons and Daddies, gets really confused and they end up in dungeons with baddies. And they're like, whoa, hey.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
this isn't what I was looking for, but it's exactly what I needed.
I feel like Dungeons and Baddies has to be either like a YouTube thing or a Twitch stream, because you got to know they're baddies. Like, there's no, like, just listening to them.
Check my Patreon.
Won't do it.
Or not my Patreon. My
OnlyFans is where
OnlyFans. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
you got to pee or something? Was it that chill? Is it I got a pee chill?
No, I don't usually got a pee chill. I just have chills randomly.
You've never gotten like, ooh, I got to pee.
No, I've gotten a ooh, that's a good pee, but not a ooh, I gotta pee.
Like a chill.
Yes, I know. Yes,
like a chill.
Say it again. Maybe it'll be more clear this time.
Like a chile.
Oh, like a chill. No.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Just had to double down. Make sure.
Anyways.
I get them all the time.
Well, we can work on Dungeons and Baddies on a later date. Also, you're going to have to get more baddies.
We're baddie enough for the both of us.
What do you even plan? You know what? This isn't for what this stream is for. This stream's not for your weird machinations. I mean, it is, but not for those.
That's exactly what this show is for.
Not for those weird machinations. All right, very specific
this
weird
my
machinations
show.
Here.
You're starring in it.
Anywho's, if you've been joining us, if you've never joined us, like I said, we play games to build a world. We've played more than a few at this point, a good chunk of them, in fact. And some of them have been really neat. Some of them I absolutely would recommend to people if they want to build a world. There's helpful tools in that. That being said, we're in the middle of one of the ones that I think definitely borders on one of the most useful that we've played so far as helping you build anything. This one doesn't help you specifically build a world. It helps you build a timeline. I will also tell you that not many of them help you make a map, but if you want to make a map, one of the most fun ones was our Pantheon. That was great for making a map, and it was fun. So, just cutting you off at the pass there. I also imagine when we're done with all of this, we'll kind of sit and we'll talk about it a little more. Like, hey, what was our experience with these? What would we recommend again? What did we like? What did we not like? And if we were going to do it all over again, what maybe 3 would we have to play just to do this justice?
Absolutely.
So we'll get to there. But for now, we're in the middle of a game called Microscope. Microscope helps you build a timeline. One of the interesting elements of Microscope is that you start knowing where everything starts and where everything ends. And as you play the game, getting frame here, and as you play the game, you just kind of start throwing stuff in the middle of it there. Just whatever shit you think you want in there until it feels full and until the journey from start to end feels right to you. Where we're at is we decided to do this game, play this game for one specific department, the Department of Anime. And in the Department of Anime, we decided it would start with the 9 space snake orbs being collected and used to grant power to the citizens of the Department of Anime. And in the wake of this new power, the people begin to awaken a new era and endless possibility. And it would end Once again, the space snake orbs are gathered and put an end to the era of great power, after a land of power seemed too out of control to continue to exist. So that's kind of where we're at. We've done a bunch of stuff in the middle, including destroyed everything once, decided it could be rebuilded. Um, we've kind of put a pin on the moment when they were all collected. We've talked about how everything kind of grows out of this destruction briefly. We've talked about how we discover more about the orbs and maybe the society that creates them. And I think now we're back to the top of the round. We finished out one whole round. I think maybe we'll do one more just to get this thing going.
From the top, Jeffrey.
From the top. Every round starts like this. We're going to decide which player is the lens. Now, I was the last lens, so it's going to go back to Henry.
Yes.
Once the lens is picked, then the lens is going to declare focus. It's the part of history you're going to explore right now in this round. Then we're going to make some history. We're each going to take turn, either making a period, event, or scene. The lens is going to go first. And the lens can choose to do two things as long as they nest inside each other. So they could do a period and an event, or an event and a scene if they'd like. And then after every player is gone, you're going to go back to the lens, and they're going to finish out that round. After that, we'll do some legacies, and we'll start all over again. So, Henry, you're our lens. What's our focus currently?
I'm going to make a period.
Okay.
Start,
remember, this
and
is
then
just
the event within
focus.
the period.
This is the focus.
Okay.
What is the focus?
The division.
Okay, so let me just read what a focus is, just to be sure. Picking a focus. A focus can be anything: a person, a place, a thing, an institution, an event, a period, a concept, anything you want. The lens can use something that already came up in play or make up something new on the spot. If you're making up something new, you'll usually declare if you're making something new, you'll usually declare the focus, then make a period, event, or scene. So to show what you're talking about. Okay, so there's the focus. What are you picking for that? Just to clarify.
I'm picking the division.
The division. All right, let's see. The division. What's that?
No, it's new. It's a new one.
Okay. It's a new what?
It's a new focus. So I have to then it's the division of the group. So it's both an event and a concept.
Okay. Absolutely. So you're making a new period.
Yes, the period of division.
Okay. The period of division. Where is that going to go in this? Oh, you're typing it out. Good.
Yeah, I'm going to do it at the end. Because this is before they're going to get destroyed. Tangentially.
Sure. This will be before the end of our timeline that we have crafted here. All right. So he's going to create a period. You can then, if you'd like, also create an event within that period. Do you want a description of an event?
Yes.
An event is something specific that happens during a period, like a great battle or a festival, while a period encompasses everything that happens across a large span of time. An event describes what happens at a particular time and place. Just like periods, the literal length of an event is not important. Some events may seem long, others very short. To make a new event, decide when it is, place the event in an existing period. Describe the event. Tell the other players what happens. Your description should be specific enough that other players have a clear picture of what physically takes place. Make sure to include the outcome, not just the start. Then say whether it's light or dark.
Be quiet, please.
Okay. So, I'm going with the period of division when an argument tears the committee apart.
Okay. Wonderful.
And then the event of the argument. How did we do that? Oh, so we did name the events too. Damn us and our creativity. Actually, no, it was. What setting did you use for that? You did a. That's not an option.
Just put an A in a little thing.
So fucking dumb. I want to be better than that. So the argument that occurs is when we named all of them. Give me 1 second. I have to read through them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Hector, Jax, Niles, Sybil, Ken, Ryuk, Kendall, and Nico.
Yes. So I don't want to do Ryuk because it's too on the nose. Let's do Jax. Or no, Ken. No, Jax. I like Jax. Jax poses the idea that they begin to use the orbs for their own desires.
Gathering the orbs and using them for personal gain.
Because I assume at one point what kind of happened with all of these powers, and this isn't an event that I'm touching, it's just a thought that above board, if it's something we don't touch on, I'm going to do as a world builder, where they gathered the 9 orbs back up and just kind of like safeguarded them. They didn't utilize them, but they just safeguarded them so that no one would do anything fucking crazy.
Okay. Interesting.
So I'm imagining they already have all of the orbs, and Jax is just like, hey, maybe given our position, we can just use them ourselves for something that we want.
I mean, you could potentially put that even in the event, right? You're supposed to set the scene, paint a picture. So I would say,
yeah,
put in the event, like the orbs are gathered. They have been protecting the orbs up to this point, and Jax and it is posed that they use the orbs for their own desires.
What just happened?
What do you mean?
I'm so confused. Don't worry about it.
Somebody have their night shoes or what?
No, it's because you were highlighted in orbs. It fucked me up for a second. I was like, what is going on?
It's because you wrote obs. Obs.
Oh, so you're going back and
to
correcting
orbs.
it? I was just like, what is going on? But yeah, so that's the event that I'm going with, and that's the picture that I'm kind of painting for it.
All right, so that's the focus that you're creating in the event. The focus is the period. The event itself is that there's a discussion about the using the orbs for personal gain.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Let's look into my stuff here. Let's look into now. It's going to make history. Now that you've done that, I will make history.
That's all you ever do, Jeff. If you really think about it, that's all anyone ever does is make history.
It's true. Constantly making and remaking history over and over again.
Even in this very moment, even if it's not something that's like record breaking history, but like now in history, I put my chapstick on.
Sure.
Everything we do is history.
Everything is history. We all constantly create history. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm going to create some more history here. I'm going to make another separate event. Right? That's when there's a discussion that's big. It could be groundbreaking, that discussion. We never know exactly what happens there. You should know. That's something you should paint a picture of what happens with the discussion. What do they decide? Because it says when making an event, hold on, we go back to event. You're supposed to describe it and make sure to include the outcome, not just the start.
That they split up.
Yes, but that's not the outcome of that event.
That event is
the
them splitting up. That's the divide. That event is the split up of.
That should be written in it, is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. So it's clear. Because you made a period where they split apart. Then you set the event of what exactly split them apart. Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot it out there and fucking get wild here. I'm gonna make the event. Oh, that didn't need to be in all caps. My event is going to be Kindle's Wish. During the event of Kendall's Wish, Kendall manages to get her hands on all the orbs. And
Kendall got all the orbs?
She manages to get her hands on all the orbs here.
How dare you alter my story in such a controversial way?
I've not altered it.
I know. I was just kidding.
Kendall manages to get her hands on all the orbs, and then she wishes. I think that Kendall makes a wish that at first is relatively innocuous, but she's one of the first ones to do it for her own good. She gathers all the orbs after this argument, and they kind of start. They split their separate ways, and so on and so forth. She's the first person to gather them, but the wish that she makes is this is going to be really corny, but I feel like it makes sense. Get out of here. Stop messing with my stuff.
I'm getting rid of it.
This is going to be really corny, but she gathers the orbs and she wishes to have true love.
My wish for you.
It's super corny and it seems innocuous, but it is the beginning of of a slippery slope that others may end up sliding down. In fact, probably do end up. In fact, I'm going to say do end up sliding down. She then let's see.
Cast into a pit of snakes.
When her wish is granted, the one of the more sensible of them all. Actually, you know what? I think this is even funnier to me. When her wish is granted, Nico becomes her lover. Let me put it a different way. Nico manifests as her true love. As she didn't quite specify, and maybe that's not exactly what she wanted. But it is what happened. And no one ever knows if she was going to be her love before the wish.
Yeah. There was no idea. It could have been anyone.
Right.
It could have been Santa Claus.
No one ever truly knowing if Nico's feelings were genuine. No one ever truly knows if Nico's feelings were genuine. This act begins let's call it a cascade seems to be the best word that comes to mind. Cascade of no, cascade's wrong. This act begins the fall down the slippery slope of desire and threatens to rob people of their free will. There we go. That's the event. I have written it. So it is written.
Perfecto.
Yes.
I have a hair in the mouth, and I don't know if it's mine.
It could be, could not. Never know. Now we're back to you. Finish the focus. You could create another period, event, or scene. What do you think's nested?
I think I want to touch on who splits with whom. Kind of the aftermath of the split.
Okay. I see where you're going here.
Yeah, because this kind of stacks up like who was with who and
bless you.
Right, dude.
Blah blah blah. Who splits with who? Who is still connected.
Okay. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to fix all this.
Yep. As we continue to build a timeline, we must decide the order of events, the order of operations.
Upon the divide, I want to say Niles, Sybil, and Nico were against the collection of the orbs for their own good. Sorry, I gotta write this down because it's doing weird things scrolling. Unless you want to write it in for me.
No, you can write it down. I would say I would question if this is an event or a scene, right? Because this might be a scene, right? The scene is how it breaks down. It's probably a but not a scene where I'm involved. It's a dictated scene.
Yeah.
But yes, if you two are looking to build a world or a timeline, this might be a great tool for you. And also, I think it might be more interesting and engaging with more people if you are, for some reason, lost in my big, beautiful green brown eyes, or uncertain if this is too boring. Rest assured, it probably is more fun with more people. I think that's a big thing, that a big hurdle we've had to get over is that we haven't had enough people for some of these games, or at least not enough people for it to be really fun. We've also been doing it for a little while now, so it's probably started to lose a little bit of its shine over time for us. But I want to keep going for the sake of, I want to make sure that it feels like whenever we're done, whatever it is we have finished, feels like it's got some good legs under it. Like Baba Yaga's house, some good chicken legs under it. And so our, as of yet, not even a DM, our budding DM, Henry, can really feel confident with this world that we have built with him over these times, and think like, okay, with what I've got here, I can make something, I can do something, I can run something that might be interesting or fun or exciting. And so we'll definitely continue until morale is improved. The beatings will continue. What I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Um, so we're definitely gonna be.
Haha, I was muted.
Ah,
I did not mean to type that in all bold. But so, upon the divide, Niles, Sybil, and Nico vote against using the orbs for their own good, while Hector, Jack, Ken, and Kendall decide or agree with using the orbs for their own good.
mm-hmm.
And
sorry, you said that wrong. It's actually agree with using the orbs for their own good.
And I imagine they split amongst the three, and probably split amongst the 8. Actually, I didn't mean to say 3. Ooh. But they agree to kind of just take one orb each.
Sorry, they take one orb each,
and then one of them takes 2. Or no, one is left.
One is left
behind. That's what they agree.
One will be left behind, untouched. And then Kendall goes over there and touches it. What a twisted web we've weaved. Such intrigue, such pain. What?
Yeah, they decide to take an orb each and leave one behind to prevent one side having complete power, like an extra, a
Sure.
1 up for power.
Sure.
Because I know it's not complete power, because obviously it's split up and it's not even amongst them, but they all have one. Everyone is at the same point.
Yeah, it's a level playing field.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the end of that. Then it's going to get to
Ish.
me. You made a scene. It's a good scene. They break up. They whatever. Each keeps the things. Blah blah blah. Now it's on to me. After all the players have addressed the focus, we take a step back and examine legacies. Choose an element of history we want to remember to explore later. Choose a new legacy. Player to the left or the right of the lens picks something from play during this last focus and makes it a legacy. I think that what I'm going to make a legacy of, we'll get there. And then we get the new lens, which will be me. Then I'll explore a legacy where I'll create a dictated scene that relates to one of the legacies. And then I'll be the new lens. So let's see. In this thing, a legacy that I think should be explored more. Let's see. Let's see. What's a legacy I think should be explored more?
Ooh, baby, love the way.
Every day. I wanna tell you all night and day. I think a legacy that should be explored more is Nico's free will. I think that's a great one to explore more later. It's not what I'm going to explore now because I can choose anything.
Choose anything.
I will. I will.
I don't know how you're going to cover all of anything, but
I'm going to cover it all. I'm going to cover it all. Let's see.
I'm going to cover you with love.
Ooh.
Hug love.
Oh. It's the huggish, lovish bone.
I never knew what he said during that part.
Really?
Yeah, never knew the words.
It's thuggish, ruggish. Or thuggish, rugged, maybe. It's the thuggish, ruggish bone.
What is the last word, though?
Huh?
What is the last word you're saying?
Bone.
Oh.
Bone.
It's the thuggish, huggish bone.
The thuggish, huggish
that
bone.
Sounds inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm going to take time to jump in here with the 8 members of the committee, but well before all of this shit starts. No, that's something we've touched on enough. Let's touch on the space snake orbs. Text saying, I'm going to say...
Space snake orbs.
I'm
Hello,
going to say
Torchlight Tavern.
yes.
How are you
Address
guys
them.
doing tonight?
Address them. Yes, that's what I do.
The taverners, the
Tavern goers, sir.
tavern goers, the torch holders, the torch bearers, if you will. How are you guys tonight? What do we call our fan base?
The torch bearers. I
The
feel like
torch
that's already
bears.
touched on. I guess I'll just touch on it myself. I'll touch on everything but little girls.
Our viewers are torch bearers.
Torch bearers
with torches.
Torch bearers.
Yeah, torch bears.
Torch bears.
Rawr.
Torch bears. Dad torch bears.
They take your picnic baskets too.
Oh, hey, boo boo. They're gonna take your picnic baskets. Well, I say, you better not touch my picnic basket, you son of a bitch.
Well, I don't remember that episode.
You don't remember any of the episodes. Don't lie to me.
And that also turned into Foghorn Leghorn, if I might add.
No, it was intentionally Foghorn Leghorn.
Okay. Well, I'll say, what? Don't you touch my picnic basket.
I say, if you come over here and touch my picnic basket, you better bear down and man up. You got a little weird.
Yeah, it did.
Weird. Ooh,
bear down. That was the choice of words.
Mm-hmm.
You had to use those words.
Mm-hmm.
Gross.
You liked it.
Anyway, Nico is questioned.
Yeah, that's it.
Nico, how you fit all that and them jeans?
Big bad Nico coming through.
I guess it's canon now. Nico has cake.
Sorry. Nico's question about her feelings by Niles. He kind of asks, asking how she could be in love with someone who betrayed their trust and asked if she doubted her feelings.
To which Nico said,
yes. Nico responded,
no, I don't like this song.
of all the many things I doubt, I do not doubt I love her. There we go. Of all the many things I doubt, I do not doubt I love her. And yeah. That's the thing I decided to make the legacy.
That's
how the
not
legacy
where I thought you were going with that.
Yeah, it's a scene that really plants the seed of like, is this her free will or isn't it?
Yeah.
Now I'm the lens.
Lens it up, big dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna lens it up. I want to make this focus the period of innovation because we haven't touched on that at all. And to that end, I will add a
Words.
event.
I will add words to this document.
I would add words to this very document. I'm going to add an event. The event is
They find vibranium.
no. The
Technically, if we want to get argumentative, it is an anime, and I guess DC and Marvel go into anime, technically.
some of it, yes. The event I'm going to add is the 10-year anniversary.
A light time. It was a lighter time. It was a darker time.
Of the reconstruction. Which was a time where they could look back at what marvels they were able to accomplish in that time, having rebuilt the entire department with most agreeing was better than it was before. This event begins a new renaissance of creation and social equity. There we go.
Okay.
The 10-year anniversary of the Reconstruction, a time when they could look back on what marvels they were able to accomplish in that time, having rebuilt the entire department, with most agreeing that it was better than it was before. This event begins a new renaissance in the creation and social equity. On to you, big boy. Make some history.
And I can pick anywhere, right?
You can pick anywhere within the period of innovation.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, jump forward, say the period of innovation lasted 100 years, let's just say. You could jump forward 100 years from then and be like, hey, this is what happened at this point. Or you don't even have to really label how long passes.
Yeah.
Or you could jump back to before the 10-year anniversary and talk about anything that happened before that.
All
right.
Sorry, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, think away, my guy. Think it up. Let's think it up. Be-do-do-dee, let's think it up. Be-do-do-dee, I'll think it up.
I'll do the day of Reconstruction.
Okay. Interesting choice. Choosing to go before what I put down, but whatever. It's not like it affects me or nothing. I'm just kidding.
I was like, I can change.
It's the beauty of this. You put something down and anybody can put anything as long as it doesn't directly contradict with what you did. That is something it says. We're not supposed to contradict with each other. We can just simply put stuff down around it. So, it's fun. So if you happen to like building worlds or weird games, you can join us here for this show, but also some of the other wonderful shows we put on. We currently are putting on a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition show on the Wednesdays that we don't do this, called Wacko Mundo. I run it, though I will give you a heads up. There's some big changes on the horizon there, which we can't wait to talk about, but we will wait to talk about it. As well as this Friday and every Friday after Building by Torchlight or whatever happens to replace it, we currently are playing a game called Mythcraft Country, which is in a game system called Mythcraft, which is like Dungeons and Dragons, but different enough. And different in ways that I think are fun and interesting, personally. And I would love for you to join us there if you happen to be watching this at any point. We have a lot of fun there as well. And we have more on the horizon. I've been busy. I'm kind of the driving force here. But I want to keep us moving forward on this channel. I hope to provide good content for you, like Dungeons and Baddies, maybe. Unfortunately, the good people over at Dimension 20 beat us to the idea of Dungeons and Drag Queens. Son of a bitch. As we had the idea, but just were unable to accomplish it because we didn't have as much access to drag queens. Crying shame.
Yeah. Okay, so
go on.
I have created my event within this period of innovation. I would like to say the period of innovation, the day of construction, the committee gathers to celebrate in the completion of everything, and they agree to gather the orbs for safekeeping and guard society as some form of League of Justice.
Okay. Like the day the reconstruction begins?
No, the day it is reconstructed.
Okay.
The day of reconstruction.
So we're okay. The day that all of the reconstruction is finished.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Because they were the ones that kind of led the unity of everything and then got everything reconstructed.
Sure.
So they kind of just decided at that point, hey, we should form some League of Justice thing.
Okay, so you're saying they also formed a league other than the committee?
No, it is the committee. Like, that's the day they became the committee.
I thought, okay. Fair enough. I felt like that happened during the period of chaos. They decided to become the committee.
Well, they all together. Okay, yes, but I'm saying like as a formal like judicial system, the committee.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I guess
Because
they decided
kind
to
of just
take a
wanted
more
to lead
active
everyone,
place as
and then
government.
yeah,
That's when they formed their governmental
yeah,
system, is what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay. Sure. Oh, I should put stuff on here. Like, where's my shit?
Does that make sense though?
Yes. This is where I wanted to put that. Like,
Okay, back to you. Big
back
Papi.
to me.
Papi
No, it's not back to
Jeffrey.
me. It's actually not back to me. Sorry, stream, for getting all that cough. My bad. It's actually back to you. Since I was. Oh wait, no, it is. It is back to me. It's back to me, then back to you, then back to you. Okay.
For anyone that didn't hear that, it was
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. Just a little. Yeah. I'm just gonna create another event, and
hell yeah.
I'm gonna call this event.
The event.
No, I'm gonna call this event the reinvention of the wheel. During the reinvention of the wheel, it's during the anime renaissance. Lord. During the anime renaissance, one of the pioneers of technological advancements Jaco. There it is. Advancements.
This is really going to paint a picture of where our minds are processing the technology level that we're working at, because we've never discussed what technology level we're working at when all of this happens.
Right.
Because you could theoretically be imagining all of these events taking place in a early stages, like almost caveman era.
I could.
Whereas I was picturing it in a world that is just like modern day society, nothing crazy.
Yep.
But absolutely. In a city.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can see that. So during the anime renaissance, one of the pioneers of technological advancements changes everything by finding oh man, this is gonna be great, a way to use powers as a source of energy without causing harm to the user of to the holder of said powers.
How do they do it, Jeffrey?
Use essentially. I don't have to explain how they're doing it. I get ridiculous here.
You don't have to. I imagine from My Hero Academia, the Dr. Smoochie or whatever her name is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like an inverse, she just like sucks on your cheek and she takes out your power for energy.
Nope. It doesn't harm them. It doesn't take anything away from them.
I didn't say harm them.
Battery. It doesn't take anything away from them either. As I'm trying to make clear. Changing the landscape of technology.
Solar power, huh?
So essentially, to break this down, because you're the one who's going to need to play with this now, even though to me it makes it even more fun.
They find a way to make people solar powered.
They find a way to use the energy that they have in their powers, no matter how great or small, as an energy source, to convert this energy source that gives them their powers into an energy source without taking away their powers, without affecting them. Essentially changing them into a battery for all of their stuff, giving everybody free energy for all the technology that they create from then forward. What I love about this event, and this isn't the way to play the game, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's a little fun opportunity for me to kind of express myself here. What I love about this event is that from my perspective, or from the perspective of the world, what I just established is that now the world, this department will run on powers. After this point, everything, all the tech they use runs on their own natural abilities. It gives everyone the freedom to have as much technology as they want. It just runs off your natural, God-given, however they say it, powers. And this opens the door for tons of different technologies, maybe teleporters or this and that kind of stuff. Opens up all kinds of doors for all kinds of crazy shit. But it also means that when we get to the point that inevitably will come, it will completely destabilize everything they have built when they lose their powers. And I think that's fun.
Power grids? Just boom, and the second powers go out.
Power grids just chunk. They don't exist anymore. There was never any power grids anyway. Everything just ran off you. And now nothing can run off you. You don't have enough power.
Well, I don't think that means they destroyed the regular power generating infrastructure.
I think that what I'm establishing here is that that's what they do moving forward.
Okay.
So from this point forward, they don't use any of that stuff anymore. They may not have destroyed it, but I don't see why they would keep it around.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So when powers go out, people are like, oh, wait, we could try using the old ways. And inevitably, everyone's going to do that around the same time and just boom, overload them.
Maybe. We'll see. You'll cross that bridge when you get there. That happens after our end here. That's where your world picks up. Your world picks up some point after everybody loses their powers. But I'm also going to say we haven't really put a finite timeline on this whole thing yet. So this could be 1,000 years.
And one thing that I like even for myself is if I get really invested in the story, I can very easily, when I do inevitably end up DMing this weird world, I can just be like, hey, you're like, don't tell the party, but be like, hey, you guys are gathering the warps. That is your quest.
Sure.
And
If
then
you
they play
really
some
wanted,
weird, very ass backwards episode or season of Dragon Ball Z.
yeah, if you really wanted, you could either have them recreate what had happened, or you could go back in time and start it with your party gathering these orbs. See what they do. Who knows? That's the beauty of having a
I
timeline
got
set
the
there. You can do whatever you want.
possibilities.
All right. So now that I've gone again, now you have to choose a legacy. Then you explore that legacy, and then we'll sit and we'll talk about how much more we want to do. So just to clarify what a legacy is, just to be clear. Excuse me while I find the thing that says legacies. Legacies. Choose a new legacy. There it is. Legacies are common threads that may stretch throughout time and influence history. A legacy can take many forms: an object, a person, a place, a bloodline, an organization, or even a philosophical ideal. You make legacies to identify things that you think are interesting and want to keep in the spotlight. Legacies are explored during a specific phase of play, between one focus and the next. Because you aren't restricted by a focus during the legacy phase, it's a broad opportunity to explore something that interests you, like anything in the history. A legacy can also be brought into play or explored during normal play. So that's a legacy. When you choose a new legacy, you look back on what happened during the focus and pick something to be a legacy, something that you want to keep up. And maybe I didn't do this right last time, but you can, when you then explore that legacy, you can put that anywhere. That's just exploring something you think is worthy of reappearing.
Yeah. I'm going to touch on the pioneer of technological advancement.
Okay,
I think
the person themselves?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your Leonardo da Vinci? Is what you're going to
one
ask.
Second. I have to double check something.
Sure. While he's double checking, as I said, he's going to choose what he's choosing to focus on. Oh, I'm just kidding. Ooh, that cough is fun. Anybody have a cough that just love it? Yeah, me too. Love a good cough. Anyways.
Oh, I did not mean to do that.
What he's choosing to make a legacy is the Leonardo da Vinci that I unnamed and created. The man who saw the future of the world and made it so. In fact, maybe better than Leonardo da Vinci.
I'm gonna make it.
But to be clear, you don't have to name him. You just have to say this person is the new legacy, and then you can explore either that legacy or any of the other legacies. All of the legacies are down there. I hate to be this guy, but why do you keep coming back to those 8 people? You could make a whole world of other people.
I was going to make just a random person, but I thought it would be interesting if Sybil was the pioneer of innovation, because Sybil was one of those core people. So it would kind of bring everyone's attention to Sybil when everything breaks down, because it's a known name. Everyone knows who Sybil is.
Sure. I don't know. It just feels like we keep circling the same shit. Like everything in these legacies ends up being
Okay.
kind of related. You know, the 8 people, then the texts about the space snake orbs, which is something we could revisit in a more fun way. The Nico's free will.
Then
You
I
know,
will just put the focus on Pioneer of Innovation.
okay. And now
That's my legacy.
that's your legacy. Now you can choose any of the legacies to explore. When you do so, you can make an event or a dictated scene about one of those legacies. An event or a scene. Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
I'm going to add to Nico's question about her feelings by Niles, and make a very subtle prior event where Nico.
That's another scene. Because what I wrote was a scene, so you're just making another scene. It's okay.
Okay. Yes. Acknowledges. Huh?
Sorry, I was just making noises.
Oh.
Wop, 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 wop. I'm gonna do my dance. Wop, 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 wop.
That she knows
They know
about
too much.
it was Niles, right? Or no, it was Kendall. And doesn't share the same kind of regard.
No, that's probably something you shouldn't make a scene here, but should put somewhere before that, because that's after you're putting that scene after within the event of Kendall's wish. Kendall's wish is to make her for true love,
yeah.
and then after that, she becomes her true love.
Yeah. I would put it in the period of discovery.
You can put it wherever you want, really. As long as
And
it
it fits to go in the period of truth within the period of discovery.
The period of truth shouldn't take place in the period of discovery.
No, the event of the truth.
Oh, the event of the truth. Sure. Okay. That's funny. It kind of, I will say this, it does kind of contradict a little bit about what I said, which is the act begins to fall down the slippery slope of desire and threatens to rob people of their free will, right? I kind of left it amorphous there on purpose, where it's like, oh, did she love her? Did she not? How can you know?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right? Kind of like I left it that way. So to put such a unique or such a pointed pin in it, I think is fine.
Well,
right? It is a legacy.
Okay, so I hear
Nico's
you,
free
but the
will.
reason I put it there is because I tried to put it early on so that it could be questioned. Like, did she get feelings? Did they end up sharing feelings? Like, did
Yes.
things change?
Sure.
It
No,
still leaves it
absolutely.
in the gray area.
It does leave
I
some,
wanted to leave it
leave some
early
time
on
there.
for that reason.
Right. I would also state that, like, that's an interesting take you took to it, and this is not contradicting, but that's an interesting take you took to it, because as I described it, and it's maybe not what's in the words, but Kendall's wish isn't exactly as she expected it, right?
Yes.
I described Kendall's wish being like, oh, she just expected to get a true love. And really, I implied maybe that true love would be a man. And when it was a woman,
Hmm.
it was like, oh, well, okay. But it's interesting because now you put, and again, nothing against this at this stage because this is the whole point. You can kind of do that, put more of a point on it. Now you've made it so that Kendall had feelings for her the whole time. So then it would be like, then it makes what Kendall did way worse
Hmm.
because Kendall would have maybe even known that it could be the person she had
See,
feelings for.
it's funny how our brains work because this entire time I've been perceiving it the other way because it hasn't been openly established like who loves who in that scenario. So I've just been thinking that Kendall loves Nico and Nico's like,
Mm-hmm.
And then the way you painted it originally made it seem like Nico always loved Kendall and Kendall didn't know.
The way I painted it originally is that you don't know if Kendall always or if Nico always loved Kendall. And the way
Or if
I'd
Kendall always
originally
loved Nico.
right, but or if Kendall loved Nico, or if Kendall was all even interested, because that's history we didn't write. Right, we didn't write sexual preferences down on these
Yeah.
fucking
It doesn't
characters,
matter.
right? And it doesn't. But that's one of those things where I left that space there, that question, because to me that was an interesting question. And like this is kind of again talking about how we differ. To me, that was an interesting question that that if I were running it, I could explore later up either with myself or I could get other people involved in that question in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
Right? Like having that mystery there of like, well, is that really what she wanted? Like it is what she wanted, right? Because she got true love. And after that, not only experiencing um, true love, um, and like and and being given that, right? But I guess realistically, I'm even calling into question if that's what she wanted at all in the first place either. And
Mhm.
if Kendall lost her free will as much as maybe Nico lost hers, right? Like that's kind of where
Yeah.
my mind left it was like, oh, you wish for these things, but without too fine a point on it, it's hard to say what you're going to get. But you did get what you asked for,
Hmm.
and it's not bad. It's not that whole like, you used the wish spell in D&D, but if you're not exact down to the point where a lawyer could really could be involved here, like I'll find some way to fuck you. Like no, it's just like, well, maybe this isn't what you expected. Maybe this isn't exactly what the way you thought this would go, but you'll get what you wanted. Sure. You just didn't really clarify what that meant.
Yeah.
And I think again, that's kind of how I painted the picture I was attempting to paint. Is like there's so much question involved in this, but you got what you
I still
wanted.
feel like there's a lot of questions still.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you robbed it any of the question of it from it. I think that maybe some of it, but like I'm not saying that you completely robbed the question from it. I'm saying that it's
Only
interesting the way you
partially.
put it. Yeah, you took a little bit of the question out of that, and I think that's not a bad thing. Um, it like it just
Just
makes
call
it
me
so.
Sherlock Holmes.
Well, Sherlock, here we are. We did what we said we were going to
Don't
do.
forget my last name.
Holmes.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it, shit, Sherlock. Um,
There it is.
uh, so now that we're here, we've done a round, and I would ask what you think the next steps are. Because I feel as though we didn't really. I'll be honest with you. Let's go all the way above board here. Let's go way out there. The picture I tried to paint here at the end is that in this downfall, the thing, this in this period you've put up of division, which could lead into another period of different stuff. The
Mhm.
picture I tried to paint was kind of the idea that this disagreement led to an abuse of these orbs. This abuse of these orbs became the thing that was too much, because it's not
Mhm.
like destruction of the place was too much. We already got past that, which is the thing I wanted to establish
Yeah.
in the period of innovation. Like, we got
Yeah.
past the destruction. That's not a big deal. But as we get to this end point, I the thing that I was thinking of, the that could be introduced is the abuse of these orbs.
I
So,
agree.
do you feel like the ground is laid enough here, or do you want to do another round to lay more ground?
I think the ground's laid enough there.
You think this is enough? Do you want to finish a little early with this and talk about how we feel about this overall, and kind of move
Yeah.
on to what we're thinking we're gonna do next?
Yeah. It's funny because I know we discussed this a little bit, but I feel like this game is great to build a skeleton where, because DMs know there's a lot of off the cuff making things up as you go, because odds are I could spend 20 more days on this game fleshing out this concept, uh, and my players may never enter anime.
Right, easily. Which is
Uh,
why, which is definitely why I kind of almost as soon as we started advocated like, "Ooh, this is really for a whole world." I would never do this again in such a small thing,
yeah,
especially considering one of the other games we're considering playing. I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic? Is this game, but meant for a small space? This
yeah,
game is meant for a whole world. You build a world, and then you play Microscope to figure out everything that happened
we
before
were
your game
underzealous.
starts. Yeah. And we just we're like, oh well, we just put it here because that's what we've been doing.
Yeah,
And like I said, almost immediately I was like, oh, this is this clearly would be better in a larger setting.
yeah.
Um, so I mean, in a lot of ways, I think that has kind of made this,
A questionable experience,
yeah, well, a questionable experience, because it's like I really like this, but
but we
like,
played it wrong.
but for what this is like, it's cool, but like you say, you could spend 20 days on this and never have to use it. Whereas if you were going to, whereas if you put it on the, used it for the whole world, then it would be much more important. You could spend your 20 days there on a whole world
Hmm.
and have all this history sorted out, especially since once you have all that history sorted out, you could technically throw your players at any point in time throughout your world.
Hmm.
And that's kind of cool because you have all that stuff worked out. You have all these different events and shit that you can be like, oh, they can be a
Oh, you
part of
could have
this.
them
And
time travel.
you could if you really wanted, you know? Um, and I think that's kind of the coolest element to it, is that you can use this to help you build a timeline for a world and have all this stuff happen as long as your world is already built. And I
Yeah,
think that's a really key element. If you have a built world where you already have things like factions and places of interest and 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 things of this nature,
if
then
you play our pantheon and then this,
right, you probably
kosher.
built your whole world right there. Like, you're done. You probably play those two and just be like, yep,
Yeah,
we're set.
I'm ready to DM.
Yeah,
If you play them appropriately. There are some other honorable mentions that we would have in the mix, but
yeah,
if everything being what it is, these two just run it.
yeah. You really could. That's kind of like the bare minimum you could do. Well, I mean, obviously you could bare minimum with just like offhanding if you really wanted. But I feel like
Or bare minimum, you just wing it from the day one.
bare minimum you make a dice
Session
map.
0.
Bare minimum you dice map, and then you just like fuck around. Actually, bare minimum you use a map generator, and then you just run with whatever that gives you.
Bare minimum, you just draw a circle.
Circle. It's a circle. But
I'll kill you.
with all this talk of bare minimums, we could really talk about like what would really be useful, and as of what we've played at this stage, again with honorable mentions here and there, I think that you really could, like you say, play our Pantheon and this game, Microscope, and you could feel like this is fleshed out enough. I could feel confident in this. And it could be really fun, especially the amount of variance of how you could do that. I think really adds to it too. You could get your whole table, everybody you want to play together, and you could play these two games, and they can everybody at your table can be a big part of this whole process, and so that when they get in there, they'll really feel like they're a part of the world. And in some ways, that's really cool. Obviously, from a DM's point of view or from a GM's point of view, in some ways that's not as cool because you're like, maybe I want to have some more mysteries around the corners. And if that's your bag, if you have other GM friends, just gather up all those people, gather up your 3 or 4 GM friends and play these two games and see how it runs and see how it works and have fun with it there. As long as you all think similarly enough, but also differently enough so that you have just enough compare and contrast. I will say I think that's been one of the weirdest sort of, I don't want to say hurdles, but one of the weirdest sort of things to work around between me and Henry is that we do think so differently that the way we approach things finds us not necessarily at odds, but not necessarily at the same ends either. There are times where I think either of us says something and the other one goes like, well, what am I to do with that? Exactly. And like we're pretty good about like not, I think both of us are decent at being like, okay, well, we'll just roll with the punches here.
We're good. We're decent at yes and.
Yeah, we're decent at going, all right, well, fuck, I guess. It's not the way I would have done it, but all right.
Yeah, I guess I'm a watermelon now.
I'm a watermelon, but at least I know how to play the banjo. That's a fucking small upside. What the fuck that means?
That and I can sing like an angel. Is that a singing watermelon?
Oh man, who's playing the banjo?
Should I?
Yeah.
Hey, call Timmy over here. You gotta see this.
You tell that watermelon to roll its singing banjo playing ass over here.
Anyway,
but all that to say, I think a big factor if you're going to play these games is kind of making sure that you and your cohorts are on a similar page creatively, or at least are willing to work with the fact that you're not. It would be very easy to start fights playing these games, especially if you're somebody who really likes control. And I think the biggest element going into these is to just know that you're not, that
your players are.
Well, yeah, knowing who your players are. But I mean, like, if you're going to go into these games with your friends, whether they're your DM friends or your player friends or what have you, go into them knowing, like, even if you're not on the same page,
it's okay.
That you're not going to start a fight over it.
Mhm.
Right? That's key. Like, no matter what happened here during this experiment thus far, I was never like, well, that's stupid and I hate it. Like, I was never going to do that. I was
Yeah.
going to be like, well, that's silly, but fuck it. We'll move on. Like, that's the choice you made, man. And I think
Yeah.
it has been incredibly freeing to have no dog in this race. Like, for me, it being your idea and your world, that's great. Because every time it was a situation where I was like,
I wouldn't do that. Well, fuck it. It's not my world.
exactly. Every time I was like, that was a bold choice. I think, I'd hate to run that. I could just remember that I won't, and I have nothing to do with it. And
Yeah.
like, the worst thing that happens is I play in it, and that's okay. Because I'm gonna fuck up
Because
that
you
world anyway.
understand the terrible world that exists already.
Yeah, because I understand players come in and fuck up your shit anyway. As a player and as a DM, and that's okay. Go in and fuck up your DM shit. You know, whatever, man. Just play the game and have fun.
Hell yeah, brother.
As long as everybody at the table is having fun. If you notice your GM isn't having fun, then one, prepare to probably be killed.
Die.
Two, address that. You know, something we talked about back on the no dice days is like DM burnout happens. The DM
and if you like D&D and you're enjoying the campaign, don't let them burn out.
Yeah. If you like tabletop role playing, no matter what you're playing, and you are enjoying that game, be mindful of the fact that your GM might be experiencing burnout, or that maybe they're not having fun. If they're not having fun, you'll start having much less fun too.
Yeah.
Vice
Either
versa is also
get
true.
back on the quest line or get back off it.
Yeah. Vice versa is true too, though. I want to state as a GM, like, if it feels like my players aren't having that much fun, then I stop having fun too. I start to be like, well, fuck, how can I fix this? So that's kind of important across the board. Everybody have fun. Anywho's, this has been an interesting game. I think we'll end it here. I definitely think, as I said in the beginning, it's worthy of revisiting for the whole world if you want it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the options we have next. We could basically play this game again, but for a smaller area in the game of, I'm sorry, did you say Street Magic? We could play a game where you make a holy place in nature called Tending.
No.
We could play a game called The Skeletons, which is a meditative, structured freeform game for 1 to 6 players. It flips the script on the class and dungeon crawl. Here you play not the intruders, but the guardians. Well, this one looks like it's not as good for building things, but it does seem funny.
Yeah.
It seems funny. We could play Ex Novo, a game about building immersive cities and towns. We could play Artifact.
Do Ex Novo.
Ex Novo, you think you want to do next?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We'll do Ex Novo next. And then we shall also decide where we want to go next. Because that's a big deal. Let me pull up
that's one thing I still don't have.
The Roll20.
Oh no, I do have the Roll20. It was the wait, no, was it 20? Right? No.
I've never been a man. $1 million baby. I'm $1 million baby.
Are you?
$1 million baby. I'm $1 million baby.
Okay. Chrome, continue.
$1
I forget that Roll
baby.
20 doesn't work on. Oh, wait. Yeah, it does. It just had to load.
Yeah, you should be able to access the game once you're a part of it, right?
Yeah. There it is. I forgot we made it so big we couldn't even zoom all the way out.
Yeah, it's huge. I did that. It's wild.
You know what? You know what I want to touch on for this
It's
one?
a vibe.
Taverns.
We do have a taverns. Just one
Yeah.
place for taverns.
It's going to be C3.
C3.
Right in the middle of the Paint River. Right north of Anime, actually.
It's hilarious. Let's go north.
Didn't mean to do that, but I saw that. I was like, that would be fun to build a city in, or build cities in taverns.
Ah, yes. The Paint River goes straight through taverns.
I thought that would be another fun thing to highlight on.
Yeah, that could be fun. All right.
Sorry, I should have been muting for that.
Should have been, but it's okay. We're past it now. All right. So let's briefly discuss, because I don't think I even want to start this now. We're at 9:21. We usually end at 10. Ex Novo is a playable city generator that helps you construct and populate fictional villages, towns, and cities. This physical game can be played solo or with up to 3 friends. Playtime ranges from 1 to 3 hours. Meet with your friends and collaboratively draw the map of your city as you explore the history of its founding and the forces, factions, and events that shape its development. Ex Novo is both a fun game and a tool that helps you build memorable settlements ready for further creative use. The cities generated can, for example, be used for any sort of narrative endeavors or as settings for pen and paper role playing game adventures. Please share your cities with us using the hashtag XNovoCity. Playing Ex Novo. You and up to 3 friends take up the role of the guardian spirit of a freshly founded settlement. Oh, we have to be a guardian spirit. That'll be fun. Oh, hi, Tony. Tony.
It's a Tony. Wu-Tang Clan.
It's nothing to fuck with. That's how I felt about that.
That's one thing that Tony and Wu-Tang Clan have in common.
They're nothing to fuck with.
Yeah.
Let's see. Take on the role of a guardian spirit. It's founding, in fact, conjured you into existence. Oh, founding a settlement. It's founding, conjured you. Henry, you can fuck with him anytime.
When you said that the Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, the only thing that went through my head was the old Cheers. Here's the snakes and condoms, 2 things I don't fuck with. You could change that to be here's to Wu-Tang Clan and condoms. They ain't nothing to fuck with.
They ain't nothing to fuck with. Message to all the kids out there: wear a condom. It's just safe.
It's true.
You know, play it safe, my guys. It's really not worth it to not. I'm going to promise you that.
No.
I'm going to promise you that. All right, let's see. In its founding, your conjured into existence, imbued you with purpose to witness the settlement grow, shepherd its development, inspire its factions, and remember its stories. During play, you make sense of the events happening as you roll dice, plan, and draw on a collaborative map of your settlement, and influence its changing shape. You will flesh out a living place complete with landmarks, districts, resources, and people. And in the
I
end,
rolled a 12. What did that get me?
fuck, I don't know, man. I haven't bought the game yet. I'm reading the little thing about the page. It's the about me page. I haven't bought it yet.
Now I rolled a 3. Does that make us have the game?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Hold on. Let's see if I can roll a nat 20 for it.
I could buy Ex Novo and Ex
Nat
Umbra.
7.
It'll be yeah. You just keep rolling numbers until the series of numbers you've rolled is your credit card number, and I'll buy it right now.
All right. Well, that's not going to work. I'm rolling a D4. My number's not on that.
I could buy Ex Novo and Ex Umbra, which is the dungeon generator one. Do you want the city and the dungeon?
Sure. That sounds fun.
All right, we'll do that. Not right this second. I'll do it in a minute, like later. This doesn't need to be done right now. We have 2 weeks.
Like
we have
when
2
you
weeks,
guys
guys.
aren't watching.
I'm not going to do it while you're watching, guys. I have performance anxiety. I can't.
It's true, he does. He gets stage fright.
Don't ask me to buy on command. I can't buy things on command.
Can't pee on command either.
No, I can pee on my commanders, though. Jag on. Jog on. So, we've made a very simple, quick and simple choice. If you enjoy this kind of weird thing that we're doing here, you can join us not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after next, where we will play the game called Ex Novo and maybe also the game called Ex Umbra, maybe back to back. Novo Umbra. We're going to build a city and we'll build a dungeon. And then maybe we'll play that weird game where you get to be you get to follow the magic items you put in the dungeon, because that would be funny. Artifact. We could do it all and bless you. We could do it all and bless you for it. You could also bless Euphoria, the Kendrick Lamar released diss to Drake. Fuck it. I don't care. Do what you like. I will say, like I said, I think that Microscope is a great game. Definitely try it in the future. We're probably going to go over this in slightly more detail once we have everything sorted out.
Yeah.
We'll maybe even make some notes and talk about it and really do something that's more scripted, which is rare for us.
Bring Jay back in.
Yeah. But we have at least 2 more sessions. Probably, I figure we probably pull maybe 1 or 2 more games out of all of this. So we've got at least, let's say, 2 more games. Let's say 3 more games just to be safe that we'll be playing here. And then we'll be moving on to the next thing. As I said, here at Torchlight, we're kind of working on some weird changes on the horizon, but weird in a good way. We're trying to keep it fun, keep it interesting, keep it light. We're just trying to keep it light. Why does it look like I spilled something on me? Did I? I never spilled a thing on me. Anyways.
Well, keep doing that. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
Almost. Now count.
1, 2, 3.
3.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on some stuff here, and I won't explain it too heavily, but I will say I will say that I'm very excited for some of the stuff that's coming up. Those are for
Perfect.
you. Um, I'm very excited for some of the stuff that's coming up, including what we're going to do after this, which we've already teased on the last episode of Building by Torchlight. How we are considering, how I'm far past considering. I'm near certain I'm going to just start running a new game every other week here, just like real quick, something short and sweet, probably, where we just try out different systems. So it'll probably start with stuff that's really like light and easy, some sort of powered by the apocalypse stuff, probably, and then we'll move from there. Just do a couple of one shots here and there, see who I can get involved on a Wednesday, um, and see if there's anybody who wants to run anything on a Wednesday. I think I'm gonna run out of those. I think it's gonna just be me here again doing
Hey, I
weird
might
shit.
still be here.
No, I just mean like as far as running games, because I don't think we're gonna get Jay involved in running another game, even if it is
Oh,
just
yeah.
something short and sweet.
Yeah.
But still, I'm excited to play Thirsty Sword Lesbians. That sounds like a really fun game. Or Marvel, the Marvel Face Rip system is what I've heard it called. It's an old Marvel RPG that seems fun. Or let's go crazy and crunch all the numbers with another superhero RPG called Champions. It's one of the old school ones. Another really big system is Blades in the Dark. We might try that.
Ooh, that sounds dangerous.
Or I'm kind of interested in running something in a modern or futuristic setting. We might get some cyberpunk involved in this. Cyberpunk 20, whatever it is.
2077.
There it is. Cyberpunk 2077, which, in case you didn't know, the game is based on a TTRPG. So I can actually go get the new version of the TTRPG, and maybe we could play something weird in Cyberpunk. Try that on for size. And I'm going to keep track of all these money I'm going to be spending on these games because I'm going to need it for the tax write-off. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. Where's your head at, Henry? Where are you at?
I'm in my office.
Sick.
No, I look forward to it. I think that there's a lot of good things happening, and a lot of those games are really interesting. I agree. I think it would be awesome to play some Cyberpunk 2077 TTRPG. I feel like there's a lot of cool things that can be done.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely.
And one thing we want to keep on Wednesdays is we want to make sure that it's not stagnant.
Right. Absolutely.
We want Wednesday to change wildly and rapidly.
Right, which is a big reason why I've decided we're going to shift to this playing a different game. Maybe not every other Wednesday, because it can be hard to condense any game into like one session. Even when you make a one shot. Here's a fun fact for you. Most people don't make one shots that last in one session. And whether that's a failed attempt or just that, like, you can't wrap up a story in, even sometimes a session can last up to like 5 hours. Sometimes you can't wrap it up even in that amount of time. So it's pretty rare that you wrap anything up in one session. So we probably won't be wrapping things up in one, but probably like 2, 3 maybe if things are really cool. Well, like I said, we'll just play some different types of games, and we got more stuff on the horizon.
Win different prizes.
Yeah, we'll play different games, get different prizes. Maybe we'll be lucky and we'll get fucking the magical Ulvin will reappear and he'll decide to do some shit. I don't know. We'll see.
Now we were talking about Carnival games. That's lucky, Jeffrey, getting Wolfen back.
I said we'd get lucky. All right.
That's nigh cheating the system.
Well, we'll see.
I'd love to see him though. I want him back.
Yeah, I would love to have him back because you guys didn't actually weren't on the channel together at any point.
Yeah.
So
and he is the one, I won't want to say that introduced me to D&D because technically it was you, but he made my first character and was my first DM.
Yeah, he was the first time you got a chance to ever try it, even a little. And
he was my first uwu.
Uwu. Uwu. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's some... I would love to have him back around. We'll see. I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about or discuss? There's Vamp. Normally we end at 10, but I feel like I've said most of what I could say. So I don't.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to you about like some of the stuff coming up here in the future, but we haven't really officially announced it. And I don't want to do that on this stream right now.
That's fair.
D&D dick
Secrets.
Nice dick.
Dick. Nice dick.
All right. It's
James.
Dick Nice dick.
Bond James.
Yeah.
What if that's how he said it? James. Bond James.
James. Bond James. Pleasure to meet you.
No. Take it back.
It was never a pleasure.
Good.
Perfect. I'd like my drink shaken, not stirred.
Nope.
Yes. Aren't you a bartender?
Nope.
Oh, you stirred it with your spit finger. You're gross.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine being in a bar and this person orders a drink and the guy's like, oh yeah, sure. Just starts mixing shit. And then you're like, are you even a bartender? He's like, nope.
You even a bartender? I don't think so. But it doesn't taste bad. Sir, you're supposed to use a straw for that. Also, I'm not going to drink that. Your loss. It's free.
It's only free until I get caught.
It's free for now.
Could you imagine though, like the thoughts that would be going through your head as the consumer? Like, is that just a random guy? Is that an employee that's given up? What is going on? Is that just a stranger behind the bar mixing drinks and nobody said anything?
Is that Bill Murray and I didn't notice? It would be a confusing day.
Yeah. But hey, the drinks are free.
Drinks are free. If he put a finger in it, drinks are free. Which
I'd still drink it.
Don't take that too far. I fucking hate the fact that I have to think this way and also say this. Don't take that too far. I was talking about putting a finger in a drink, and don't you dare, viewers, take that too far. Fuck.
Jeffrey.
Fuck, I'm gonna be on TikTok next week. Put a finger in it and drinks are free.
Now you've said it again. Here, let me say it. Put a finger in, the drinks are free. There you go.
Fucking smash cut to just us saying.
I was gonna say, you know what we support here at Torchlight Tavern?
Oh God. I'm glad we don't have a giant viewer base right now. Like right now, I'm glad we don't have a giant viewer base. Because like I could just picture that being
100%.
Yeah. smash together. You know what we
You know
support
what?
here?
Let's just smash it together. Let's smash together for him. You know what we support here?
Put a finger in it.
Finger in
Drinks
it.
free.
It's free.
Put a finger in it. Drinks are free.
That's what we support here. No need to smash cut.
Nobody clip that. Never clip that. Leave it unclipped.
Oh, it's too late. I'm clipping it.
Oh God.
No, I didn't clip it.
It's not for the TikTok. I'll tell you that much. It's not for the TikTok. No.
Yeah.
Not for our TikTok.
No. Well, I feel like that wraps us up.
Yeah, I think that's it. Join us.
Tell good stories.
Join us not next Wednesday.
No.
Join us not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that for more Building by Torchlight, where we build with a new game. Hopefully it's fun. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you tune in. Join us this Friday for Mythcraft Country, a game that we really have a lot more fun, and it's a lot more structured than this, believe it or not, but structured in a good way. So join us there. We play a game called Mythcraft. This guy's in it. We have weird fun. I run it. I'm gonna make them fight more things. That's what's gonna happen this Wednesday, most likely. Sorry, not Wednesday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
This Friday, I'm
2
gonna
days
make them
from
fight
today.
more things. 2 days from today,
Clep is gonna cry and hide.
probably. He's a little girly boy now.
That's
He's a
what he
little
does.
girly boy. Look at him with his little girly fox face. It's like he's some sort of female fox. Just kidding. He's a raccoon.
Actually, as you've liked to make excruciating clear, he's not a raccoon.
No, he's
a raccoon-like humanoid.
Correct. Thank you, Buck.
But he's a raccoon. Fuck you.
Yes, so you can join us for that. We're gonna have fun there, I promise. And for now, I'm just gonna end it a little early because it just feels right. I will be announcing right now we actually will not be streaming next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we will not be streaming. I'm going to announce it now. I haven't put it in the chat yet, but we will not be streaming next Wednesday. So, or at least I won't. If the boys want to get on, we will not be doing Wacko Mundo. I won't be streaming. Don't expect me. If one of the boys wants to jump on the channel and do something weird, they certainly can. But until Friday, we say one thing around here. Just kidding. We say a myriad of things. And one of the things that's slightly different that we say here is build good stories.
Build them good.
Build them good.
Just
Please.
build them.